Yes. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. This is Charlotte Bergman with Political Talk with Charlotte. I just finished um, experiencing a serious sinus infection, and I think I really have my voice back today. If you can't understand me, please let me know. But anyway, I wanted to bring to you some topics that I thought would be of interest to you. For instance, the current Memphis Mayor Paul Young is proposing a 75% property tax to city council, and purpose of him doing that is because he wants to solve crime. Okay, let's see how 75% property tax hike is going to solve crime, and I'm going to explain to you some of the highlights of his bill. And then we'll remember that he is suggesting this, but the Memphis Chamber of Commerce is opposing it. We also want to talk about the big issue, the elephant in the room, which is crime in Memphis. It is not going to solve its the problem itself, but let's talk about whether Mayor Young's proposal will help. I'll be right back with you. Well, you caught me multitasking. Hi, everybody. I'm so glad to be back with you. I am Charlotte Bergman, and we're going to discuss some things today that pertain primarily to this immediate area, Memphis, Tennessee. I was appalled when I did some search on Memphis, Tennessee, and crime, and came back that we are in serious problem, in serious trouble. But there is hope, guys. There is hope, and we're going to overcome this and we're going to correct this problem. But I wouldn't say that we can correct this problem with the recommendation of our new Memphis Mayor, Paul Young, who proposes 75% property tax hike. That I'm okay with tax hikes if there has been enough research done to determine that the hike is warranted and it will yield the results that it's supposed to. But I'm not sure that Memphis Mayor Young's proposal is going to hit the mark. I I had high hopes for Mayor Paul Young. I attended his inauguration on at the beginning of the year, and I left there feeling really, really good about Memphis. But now I'm beginning to wonder, did we make the right decision? Did we choose the right person to run to be the mayor of Memphis? I don't know. I want you to decide. See, on last Tuesday, April the 23rd, uh, he actually made a presentation to the Memphis City Council. And he says, in order to create the value that the community is expecting, we need revenues. That means, in layman's term, we need your money. We need to make sure that you're paying as much money as possible. We need to squeeze all of the juice out of the turnip of your home as we possibly can. We are in a position where we haven't raised taxes since 2012. Y'all, I'm asking for your money, and don't be surprised. I mean, we hadn't come and asked for your money since 2012. And the cost of everything has gone up since then. And you're doggone right about that. Since Biden has been in office, everything has gone up exponentially. And I'm going to cover that just briefly. So here's how much you're going to pay on taxes if the city council approves the 75% increase. You're going to pay $188 more for your home, a home that, say, costs $100,000. Well, that a lot of homes in Memphis cost over $100,000. And that's going to increase to $15.66 a month. Now, if you have a home worth $200,000, you're going to be paying an additional $375 a month, resulting in $31.25 more a month. And if you have a home that's over $300,000, you're going to be paying $563 for that home additionally. That's going to be work out to the equivalency of $46.96 more per month coming out of your pocket. What could you do with that extra $46.92 or the $31.25 or the $15.66? If you have children, I can imagine you can do a lot with it. There was a pastor that I met a few years ago when I was doing my show on KWAM. I had interviewed him. His name was Pastor E. Lynn Brown. He was a Methodist pastor. One of the things that he told me was this: if you have a piano, if you have a piano that only has black keys on it, you're not going to be able to make good music. If you have a piano that only has white keys on it, you're not going to be able to make good music. One of the things that I've been disappointed in with this Mayor Young is he wants to make Memphis black. When if you look at the city, yes, the majority of the city is black, but we still have approximately 24% white, and then we have other races of people. You cannot ignore people in the city. We need to come together to work together. Dr. Martin Luther King, God rest his soul, stated that he wants people to be judged by the content of their character, not the color of their skin. And these stupid people are reversing it and are trying to say, let's judge people based upon the color of their skin. Look at my buddy, Ann. Ann is in the house today. Let's give a big shout out to Ann. Ann, thanks for joining us today. I appreciate it. I appreciate you coming. I'm sorry, I still am experiencing this sinus infection. So if my voice goes out, please forgive me. Some of the money that Paul Young wants to use, some of the money that Paul Young wants to collect, he wants to use it for, guess what, everybody? Midnight basketball. You know, as I was raising my children, and my children are in their 40s and 50s. As I was raising my children, they came up with that idea. That was over 2 decades ago. You know what? I believe, as young as Paul Young is, he walks into the mayor's office and somebody came up with an old agenda that they had pushed back in the back of a cabinet and pulled it out and say, here are new ideas. The legacy of the Midnight Basketball League is difficult to measure. It really is. In the 1990s, dozens of late-night hoop leagues across the country were all about sports and social services for young men in rough neighborhoods. As players and as organizers back then, the game's impact remains hard to measure. He wants to bring back something that was even hard to measure back then. Let me say, as a parent, I raised 3 children. Hi, Sabrina. Look, the gang is in the house today. Woohoo! I raised 3 children. If my children had been out around midnight, I I'm doing something wrong. These children should not have be out at midnight playing football. These children, there used to be when you used to look at the news, they would state, it's Andy. Whoa, all the gang is here. Woo-hoo, whoa. Andy, it's good to know that you are joining us. And guys, I want you all to know I really, really love you. I really, really appreciate you and what you're doing by commenting on my post. You are helping with that algorithm so that more people will be able to listen. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you commenting, and I appreciate it if you would share my video so more people will be able to hear it. But getting back to Paul Young, this guy, I don't know where they found him from, but I am not pleased with what he's doing for this city. Now, a few weeks ago, he met with black mayors across the United States. What happened to the white mayors? What happened to unity? Paul Young met with black mayors across the United States, and it was Atlanta. It was Atlanta, Georgia. And he got the idea of the midnight basketball from. They've incorporated that themselves. This guy is a doozy, and he needs to know that unless he changed the direction he's going, he is going to make Memphis even worse. And that's not good for Memphis. That's not good for the unity that we need here. It is not good. And so we need to stop. We've got problems here. We got serious problems in Memphis. And a midnight basketball game is not going to change. It's not going to help. Okay, let me just say this. Paul Young is listening to the wrong people. You got with him raising your taxes. And Andy, you are not in Memphis anymore, so this won't affect you. But then if he starts a trend, it's going to come up to your area. But the Memphis City school system, Memphis Shelby County school system, is getting in on the bandwagon. And they're asking for at least $15 million over the next 4 years for school infrastructure and redevelopment of old buildings, not for the children, but for redevelopment and infrastructure of the old buildings. Oh, and I want to include funds to help with chronic absenteeism. You think maybe the absenteeism is coming about because of the DEI programs, of the programs that are being taught in the schools, and the children are not going there to learn it? I don't know. Or are those children, are those parents putting their children in charter schools and different schools in order for those children to learn something? Or even homeschooling. Okay, the mayor's proposal would also add $8 million to combat blight and litter. Okay. He also wants $7 million for youth programming such as basketball courts and accessible childcare. When is it the government's responsibility to provide childcare? Then he wants $3.2 million to go to the Office of Neighborhood Safety. Now, I think that's fine, but he's got opposition not only from me, but also he's got opposition from the Memphis Chamber. The Greater Memphis Chamber officials released a statement calling for elected officials to seek alternatives to the proposed tax increase Mayor Paul Young presented during last Tuesday's Memphis City Council meeting. Why? Well, the chamber statement said that the city is currently a finalist in a half dozen projects representing billions in new capital investment. So, whereby Green Paul Young, and I'm going to call him Green, and I don't care if he takes offense to it, because if he's going to pull out something like midnight basketball as a solution to address crime, or if he's going to pull out something like some of the other suggestions that he's coming, he's discussing including child care that the citizen in Memphis should be responsible for. I call that green. And if he's going to come out with trying to further segregate this city, would you call that green or would you call that racist? I don't know. What do you all think? Oh, Andy says that Nashville taxes tripled a couple of years ago. Okay. All right. And Ann says parent needs to be accountable for their presence at school. Parents need to be accountable for the presence of the young people at school. So, and what you're basically saying is it's not the responsibility of the mayor, right? I don't know. I don't know. Come on. What's going on here, guys? Whatever it is, Paul Young needs to take some advice from some experienced people. There was going to be a meeting tonight at the Whitehaven Republican Club with Senator Brent Young and Brent Taylor in attendance, but he's been called away. They are discussing some more bills, so he won't be there. But we are concerned about real solutions to crime. What Paul Young is recommending is busy work. This doesn't address real solutions to crime. Let me make a recommendation. First of all, the last few weeks I've been talking about the Cloward Pivens strategy. That strategy is designed to, first of all, take token Black people, put them in a position whereby they will influence the masses, and then the token Black people will implement what their bosses want them to implement. And it's all designed to bring down our capitalistic society. And in the interim, in order to do that, there is a need for unrest. There is a need for young people to engage in crime, and especially young people. Cynthia, you are right. Cynthia says crime is terrible in Memphis, and this is what I'm about to get to. We need real solutions, not solutions that are going to skirt over the solution. We need teeth in the solution. So I met with the Deputy Chief Buckner of the Shelby County Sheriff Department on last Tuesday, and he came up with some recommendations. Sorry, guys, my sinus infection hasn't totally gone away, but it's almost there. At least I can talk. You know what? We have approximately 500 young people who are engaging in crime over and over and over again. The recidivism rate here impacts, or approximately 500 young people are being impacted by it. They get arrested, and I've been looking lately at videos whereby police have been arresting criminals. That's not an easy task. That is not easy, okay, guys? Sometimes they have to wrestle with these criminals. You don't find criminals just saying, okay, put the handcuffs on me. No, these police have to wrestle with a large majority of the people. So it is not an easy task. So crime in Memphis, toward the end of November, it was reported that there were 352 homicides and over 14,000 stolen cars that occurred in Memphis this year alone. Memphis police said repeat offenders and those younger than 18 are key players in the city's crime epidemic. Y'all, those 352 homicides occurred back last year in November. As of this year, we've had approximately 98 homicides to occur. According to information that the Memphis Police Department presented to Memphis City Council on April the 9th, there have been 98 homicides, and 69 of those were classified as murder. Memphis police said that they will put the city on track to end the year with 391 homicides. That's almost 40 homicides more than occurred last year. We need more facilities to house the criminals. Liberals want to say, let's have gun control. Let's take away everybody's guns, and that'll solve the problem. Not. That will not solve the problem, guys. We need to take the criminals off the streets. If you commit a crime in Covington, in Tipton County, they put you in jail. You're going to be in there for a while. If you commit a crime in Mississippi, in DeSoto County, they are going to be in jail for a while. If you commit a crime in Memphis, Tennessee, the police takes you to jail at 12 o'clock. By 6 o'clock, you're probably already out, even before the policeman is able to complete his paperwork. Part of that reason is because they're running out of spaces to hold the criminals. Part of that reason is because of the cloud pivoting strategy, which wants to terrorize the community, get people afraid so people will move out of the community. That way, those people's homes can be purchased at a lower price without much profit. This is a well-coordinated strategy. These young people are being used as a strategy that they know that once they are arrested, they know they're going to get out. There may be a hassle getting them arrested. They may have their criminal records affecting their lives, their future lives, such that they will continue in crime. But I guarantee you, if they go where they're supposed to go, to jail, to serve their time, and given an opportunity to get their mind right, so when they are released, they will have a desire to do better with their lives. I know of a number of criminals who have been arrested when they were young people, and they have changed. They have changed and gotten off that trajectory of people thinking that they're going to continue to commit crime. They changed their lives, and they are raising their families, having families, and being productive members of the community. But not when you have a situation whereby you have a group of people who do not want the criminal to pay for their action, because strategically that is meant to bring down our capitalistic system. And I know this sounds deep, and if you watch my videos in the past few weeks, you know where I'm coming from. We have got to make sure that when these criminals are arrested, they stay in jail. That means that we need more space. And I suggest that our federal representative do his job and make sure that the police have the financial resources to build additional jails, because constitutionally that's one of the things that our federal government is supposed to do, not to take care of child care expenses. No, they are supposed to maintain the safety of the citizen, and expanding the jails and leaving the criminals in jail will go a long ways toward doing that. So anyway, I want to get off that subject briefly because I want to bring up a little bit of information about my favorite person. You keep getting kicked off, Sabrina. I'm sorry. Come back on. We need you to come back on, and please share the video. Okay. You guys, I don't know if it's just me, and I don't think it's me. I'm worse off than I was 4 years ago. Are you better off than you were 4 years ago? Has Joe Biden made things better for you? We're dealing with now illegals coming over, and jobs are going to illegals. Government is spending money hand over foot, and inflation is as high as it was in the 1980s under Jimmy Carter, and I remember those times, and it was horrible. Now, Let me go over the list of what Bidenomics is doing. Biden inflation is up 3.5% overall. Eggs are up 49.3%. Gas is up 47.8%. Peanut butter is up 40.1%. Flour is up 33.5%. Butter and margarine is up 32%. These are things that we need for everyday living. Salad dressing is up 30.6%. Baby food is up 30.5%. Sugar is up 29.1%. And frozen food is up 28.2%. I gave up steaks, but steaks are up 24.8%. And chicken is up 24.9%. I can't afford fish anymore. Pet food for all of you pet lovers is up 23.7%. And even bread, which this is probably a good thing, I'll probably stay away from bread, is up 23.7%. Milk is up 15%. Well, this is happening because we have this brilliant guy who was selected in the White House who has multiple gaffes over and over and over again. Joseph Biden. Let me share with you his latest gaffe, guys. Yeah, that's Joe Biden you see on the screen.
And increase economic growth.
Oops.
Folks, imagine what we can do next. 4
Let me
more
start
years.
this over. Let me start this over. Let me start this over.
Economic growth. Folks, imagine what we can do next. 4 more years. Pause. 4 more years. Pause. 4 more years. 4 more years. 4 more years. 4 more years.
All right. That's the brilliant guy that we have running our country. The guy who reads his teleprompter and reads pause. Pause. Okay. The last topic I'm going to cover. But before I do that, I want to remind you, don't waste your time. Get out and vote. Get out and vote and get rid of Mr. Gafter. Many of you are probably aware of what is happening on the campuses, NYU and various campuses. We have been invaded. We have been invaded, guys. We have been invaded through our southern borders. And if you look at the campuses, it doesn't look like America any longer. It looks like we've been invaded by people who are sharing their radical ideals. And because their ideals are radical, you have people who are liberals not objecting to it. So I want to share with you guys this. What you see here on the screen are tents. These are students now. These are students who have been given tents to stay on the campuses in order to be anti-Israel, to be supportive of Palestine. Personally, I suggest you go to Palestine and then you fight for them there and not on America's soil. And if you're going to fight for Palestine on American soil, at least know why you are doing it. Let me share with you guys this video. If I can pull it up. Okay.
In the comments what you think of that. Okay, this is right here, the coup de grace. I want you to watch this video. This is an interview that was conducted with 2 protesters at NYU, asking them, why are they protesting? What are they so angry about? Why are you here? And as a nation, try not to fall down from shock. Here's their answer.
Try Paleo Valley Wild Caught Fish Roll for 50% off. While most of the fish oil supplements contain only 2 types of omega-3s, Paleo Valley's Wild Caught Fish Roll contains 4.
I would get a commercial
I think the goal is just showing our support for Palestine and demanding that NYU stops. I honestly don't know all what NYU's doing.
Is there something that NYU's doing?
I really don't know. I'm pretty sure they're... Do you know what NYU's doing? About what? About Israel. Why are we protesting here?
Palestine will be free!
I wish I was more educated. I'm not either.
Oh.
I came from Columbia. I was there up at Columbia and we came down. They said NYU students needed our support. So I came down. I heard there's lots of cops. Some people were saying it was getting dangerous.
They have
no idea why they are out there, guys. They have no idea. Somebody, some rich somebody is paying for the tents, the signs, and to cause chaos. And I'll give you a hint before I let you go. Think about it. This is an election year. And this stuff happens over and over and over again every election year. And when I think back on it, it's from my perspective, it started with boycott George Soros. You're right, Nani. It was boycott Wall Street. And now we are here and we're talking about what is happening now to attack the Israeli students. Don't fall for the hype. Don't fall for it. This happens over and over again during an election year. Have a little common sense about you and say, I am not going to be stupid this year. I am not. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Don't be scared. Be brave. Realize that this is happening. And Sabrina, I want to thank you for introducing Sheila E. to my podcast. My son had to go into surgery, to have surgery this week. And she was one of the attending nurses. And I'll tell you, my son received the best treatment he could possibly have. So I want to send a shout out to Sheila E. And one of the things that she told me was she spent a number of years not paying attention to what was going on in our nation. But she is aware of what's going on. She's paying attention. And I'm excited because this is the year of revelation. This is the year for people to open their minds, open their hearts, pay attention, do their own research. And she let me know she was doing additional research and not just listening to the media. I ask you, don't just listen to the media. Do your own research and find out for yourself. So thank you all for joining me. I'm glad to have my voice back. I actually heard my voice for the first time in a week this morning. And I am so glad I can talk again. Thank you all. Let's remember to get out to vote August the 1st and November the 5th. This is our year. And if we allow the dementia patient to run our nation, it's going to be our own fault. Okay? So we know better. As Cynthia said, we do need the true leader back. Cynthia, I love you too. I love you very much. I love each of you all. Share my video, please. Share my video. Help people to open their eyes. And when they hear my video then and hear me saying those things, they won't blame you. They'll blame me. And I'm here. I've got a big shoulder and I can take it. I'm putting it out and I can take it. And I'm waiting for a response from Mayor Paul Young, the racist in chief. God bless you all. Have a great week. I love you all. I appreciate you more than you really know. Share my video, like my video, and I'll talk to you.